Folks, you know what time it is. Let's
That's right.
put on our mock draft caps a la Monty Ossenford, and let's tap in with our friends at Pro Football Focus, the PFF mock draft simulator. Bo Brock, you let me know. Sharing my screen for another mock draft here on a Tuesday.
Monty, we can see your screen. It's looking great.
Let's start our engines. Now, I want to preface all this by saying I was dragged through the mud last week. People didn't appreciate my mock draft. I am going to defer to my co-host today. I want you and Damon Dog to take all the arrows because, listen, my mocks, can they get a little dicey? Absolutely. But I am here for the people, and if the people want Bo and Damon Dog to drive today, that's fine. I am merely your chauffeur.
I think we should do it like how Monty in the Cardinals front office is going to do it. And it's a real collaborative effort. You know what I mean?
So you really want to channel all of our inner Monties.
Absolutely.
We're going full Monty on this mock draft. It's a Monty mock draft Tuesday. I don't know how we dropped the ball and then do a Monty mock draft Monday, but we're going MMT. And all right, Johnny, if you can't take the arrow to the head, we are actually we'll do it for you.
I'm going to defer, and I promise I will not get click happy today. I want the chat to participate. I want everybody's input, okay? And you'll have to keep me honest because I can't see the chat. We're going to kick things off, though. Any interest in trading up? Anybody have any interest in trading up?
No, I mean, I feel confident. I know that the simulator is a little bit of a wild card, but I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to stick and pick 4th overall. Let's start this bad boy. Looks like it backfired horrendously.
Yes.
And the New England Patriots, this is absolute just madness as far as what's going on. Drake May goes 1. Caleb Williams goes 2. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 3. So the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock with staring down Malik Neighbors draft, Joe Alt potentially, Roma Dunze, and Olu Fashanu. So
the mock heard that I was deferring and then and became violent. The mock draft got
violent. I think so the Giants want to get up from 6 to 4. Let's wheel and deal.
So 6 and 4, obviously you would need 39. Is that enough? A top 40 pick, is that enough? I think that's probably enough because Jaden Daniels here. If Malik Neighbors is gone at 5, Olu Fashanu, Joe Alt, Roma Dunze. So you're passing on maybe Malik Neighbors, but you're getting pick 39. Is that enough?
Yeah, I mean, I like Monty Ossenford's burner just said F. Perfect Pass Sports saying unrealistic start over. Brian B.A. saying Mulligan start over again.
No, we can't. We're doing many of these.
Just going through I know you can't see the chat.
We got to play the cards.
We got Austin Trinnell. We got you turds saying everybody's saying trade back in this situation. Arizona Animals saying trade down. Let's trade down with the G-men. They want to get up and continue to ruin their organization. Let's go. Trade is accepted.
Yes. So Cardinals now have another top 40 pick, and we're going to resume the draft. And here's what happens. Oh my goodness. Malik Neighbors goes 4th overall. Jim Harbaugh takes Cooper DeJean 5th overall. That is a shocking pick. That is one of the most shocking picks of the draft. Here's what I will say. Jaden Daniels is still available. Do you entertain trading down one more time with the idea that you could still get Olu Fashanu, Roma Dunze, or Joe Alt?
No, I don't want to get too trade down crazy. Like, I get it. It's fun, but let's stick and pick. Let's take the tackle out of Notre Dame. 6'8", 20 years old. Just Mahler over there for the Fighting Irish.
I love him so much. I feel like I don't get to talk about him as much because Marvin Fever has engulfed the valley, rightfully so, but I'm with you. It's a no-brainer, and now you're equipped with another top 40 pick.
And now the Arizona Cardinals are back on the clock at 27th overall. And a good receiver right there on the board for you from Oregon and Troy Franklin. He's 6'3", playmaker for the Ducks. He was the top target there for Bo Nix. But let's take a look at these other prospects just around him real quick. You got the cornerback out of Mizzou that Mal Kiper mentioned in his draft that he considered for the Cardinals instead of taking Guyton out of Oklahoma. Lad McConkey, about 6 foot wide receiver, playmaker out of Georgia. Probably not. Kamari Lassiter's a cornerback that's there. Kenyan Mitchell, who you might be able to roll the dice and get it, down the road here for the Cardinals at 35. So I'm looking at this with Alt there. I think you take the kid out of Oregon in Troy Franklin. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you cannot expect to get to pick 35 and hope to pick the carcass of the first round receivers. I think you're asking for trouble. And again, we know PFF's not a huge fan of Keon Coleman. That's fine. Some good value in the secondary, but I think there's going to be if you want a corner or a defensive lineman, I think there's still going to be there. About 8 picks later, and then also the Cardinals have 39 as well. So we know definitively Troy Franklin's going to go here, maybe as early as 28 or 29. So I'm with you. That's the pick, in my opinion.
All right, so we go with Alt out of Notre Dame and a trade down at 6. We take Franklin at 27. We're back on the clock at 35. And you've got, you don't really need to look at these tackles anymore. I think you need to address either the defensive line here or the cornerback room. Maybe Kamari Lassiter. Do you go Kenyan Mitchell out of Toledo, who's a fast riser? Lassiter, of course, SEC guy. Toledo. Is that Maction? Is Toledo Maction? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitchell. Playing on Tuesday nights. You got,
look at these numbers last year. He had 3 touchdowns last year, 5 interceptions. And he's a big time prospect. I like the idea. I'm just putting my 2 cents in. Corner and then best available defensive lineman at pick 35. I think the value's there for both of those positions. Looking
at the chat, people saying Byron Murphy the second, a couple people saying Lassiter, another Byron Murphy.
I think you can get Byron at 39. I like that. I like that idea.
Oh yeah, we did get that extra pick with the trade down. So let's go Kenyan Mitchell out of Toledo. That's my decision.
Okay. All right. Being trumped. He's got the skill set. And now we're looking. Do you have any temptation to go Fontenot, knowing? Hang on.
No,
knowing that he could play left guard next to Paris Johnson Jr.
How about no? No. You just took Joe Alt.
But you wouldn't take a guard if you got an extra pick in the top 40.
I like the guards later in the 3rd and 4th rounds, like the Cooper Beebes and the Christian Haynes.
So you're comfortable. You don't have an heir apparent for Will Hernandez, the last year of his contract. You don't have a left guard technically already. Listen,
there's Byron Murphy the second staring you in the face and saying, "Hey, where's the beef? It's right here."
I think this is great value. I'm just making my case.
Yeah.
I think this is great value, and I think he's the kind of player that Austin Ford and company. And look, he's played left guard before, but if he's got a ceiling of a tackle and you don't need a tackle, I get that.
You're sitting here and you're telling me a defensive tackle is a premium position and you got one staring in your face and you want to take a surplus of offensive linemen. It's just no. Byron Murphy, is Chris Jenkins, did you already go?
I don't think so. PFF doesn't love him.
There's Chris Jenkins. So it's Coke or Dr. Pepper. It's Byron Murphy the second or Chris Jenkins. Do you want the national champ or do you want the guy that was integral part in Texas making all their noise that they did? I think you take Byron Murphy the second here.
And you pick. I listen, I would love that.
He's so defeated.
No, I'm not disappointed. I'm trying to project value, long-term value. And again, you're correct. Because I have to wrap my brain around Alt, Paris Johnson Jr., those are your tackles. So the kid out of Washington probably can never live up to his potential if we're putting him at a guard. So that's fine. I have no issue with that. I like Byron Murphy Jr.
Well, you got Kingsley out of BYU here that you could do the same thing that you're talking about Washington. You could kick him inside. Let's take a look. So we're back on the clock.
We are, yeah.
This is the first of 3 third-rounders.
And these are set, by the way, 66, 71, and 90. Those are done deals.
Boston Ford saying, Johnny's a maniac in these drafts, laughing emoji. Austin saying linebacker here. He likes, what do you like, Jeremiah Trotter Jr.?
Guys, don't even get me started with that. These linebackers and safeties, guess what? They're going to be here at pick 90 as well.
Johnny loves how this goes. Linebackers.
He loves ACC defenders, doesn't he? If I know anything about my old friend, Johnny Venerable.
Why am I your old friend? Am I still your friend?
No, because we go way back.
We do.
So could you get Zack Frasier, the center out of West Virginia? I mean, you would be getting Yelda Froholt's successor there. I don't know
Well,
if that.
listen, if you can play center, you can play guard,
Mhm.
typically. And I
What's
think,
his size?
I mean, I, that's a guard, 6'3",
Okay.
310. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's your left guard next year. And then if you want to extend Yelda Froholt, you keep him a left guard. If you want to make him a center, you can. He is unequivocally, in my opinion, the best player available, because then you're looking
Scroll
at,
down a little bit. Can you get below?
because then you're looking at a bunch of off-ball linebackers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Haynes looks good at the guard position. He's what people have tabbed the best guard in this draft, but true guard.
I mean, Kingsley. I mean, Kuiper just had him going in the first, but again, where is he playing?
I mean, you didn't have that problem with the kid from Washington. You're making.
Well,
the
I
case
just
for
got
him.
scolded for that, so I'm not going to bring that up again.
How big is Kingsley?
Big
He's
boy.
huge. He's huge. He is, 6'6", 315.
Yeah, that might be a little big for a guard.
Yeah, and he gave up some pressures and some sacks this year, but he played his best games. Look, against Oklahoma, West Virginia. Yeah, worked against Texas. And I'm not going to pretend like I know a lot about him. Here's the issue: your guards need to be a dominant run blocker, and he struggled. He's a plus pass blocker. He's a finesse player like a tackle. Whereas, okay, if we look at Zack Frasier here and we look at some of these metrics, much better, more even keeled as a run blocker and a pass blocker. So I have no dog in this fight. I'm not making the picks. I'm just a lowly scout in the draft room.
No. Okay, keep going down here. Let's get past this Clemson defensive lineman. McMillan, you already took Troy Franklin. Not to say you should be done there. You got the corner.
I like Haynes and McMillan. Those are my two.
I think you can get them at 71 and potentially 90.
But it's the third round. I mean, you're reaching 5 picks on a guy if you like him.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I'm going to take. I'm just torn between Frasier and Kingsley here.
You would play Kingsley at guard?
Yeah, that's why I think it would be a wasted pick. Let's go with Frasier.
Good job, Bo. That's the right decision. Like, objectively, like, if you're asking my opinion, that's the right decision, because now here's what you've done. In the last 2 drafts, to set your franchise quarterback up for success, you took a top 10 tackle, a top 10 tackle, a top 30 wide receiver, and a top 70 center. Like that's the infrastructure that will hopefully elevate Kyler Murray into the next half decade. Now you have to fix the defense.
Yeah. And
Kingsley's still available, by the way.
Yeah, he is. But
medical red flag. We're just going to red flag.
You got Jonathan Gaines that's going to come back and compete for an offensive line spot that's versatile as well. You really got to get to the defensive side. And we got a little beef earlier, didn't we?
We did, but I mean, can you ever have enough?
Roll down a little bit further. Let's just see what else we got.
What about a little Trey Benson? Not
yet. I think the defense has to take
a little corner action. We double down. We got one corner. We're just gonna
but this is based off. I would think that the Cardinals get a corner in free agency as well, or via trade market. Let's go with the defensive lineman out of Clemson.
I think that's the right pick. Now it's time to splurge.
Let's do it.
Now at pick 90. I mean, you've had 7.
Will you bring up
already?
just put in the running backs? I just want to look at the running backs.
No, that's exactly what I was going to do. You're reading my mind. So we lost the opportunity. Trey Benson went. I believe he was RB1. He went 87. So yeah, I mean, you get to pick from Bucky Irving, Blake Corum, Ray Davis, Jalen Wright. Blake Corum, he's a cutie. I mean, but he is 5'8", 215.
Right.
Look at his game against Washington, man. He's a dominant player. Yards after contact.
All-time touchdowns leader at Michigan, right?
27 touchdowns this year. That's pretty good. Can you do it with Kyler Murray? Can you have Blake Corum and Kyler Murray in the same backfield as his every down back? Or you're eventually going to say, Bo, I need a bigger back. And if that's the case, then that's a wasted pick, where he's Bucky Irving. or Irvine, 5'10", 200, a little bit bigger, about 2 inches taller.
Yeah, he looks pretty much the same on the field as Corum does. And then the wide receiver McMillan was left, right?
Yeah, would you double up on a receiver? I don't hate that idea.
It's not bad. And Jamari Thrash is getting a lot of love out of Louisville recently.
The problem with Jamari Thrash is if he's bad, I'm going to want to call him Jamari Trash.
That's a huge problem.
I see that as a benefit.
Damon understands that would tear if he looks bad.
He's over 6 feet. He's a playmaker at a Louisville. John Gannon's from Louisville.
Nice game against Florida State. Not. Hey, nice 1,000-yard season this year. Not.
Wow.
Your call. You want to take the trash man out?
Let's go. No, I'm not going to. First off, how dare you? Second, let's take Blake Corum. Let's do it.
Yes. I choose violence as well. Let's go. I think this is going to do really well. I think this is probably one of our highest grades we've ever had.
Brett wanted Frasier. Boston Fort wanted Thrash. The Thrash man. Thrash Day was on Sunday.
Thrash and trash. There's so many puns we could use, but you think Blake Corum's gonna? I think Blake Corum's gonna be a top two round pick. I think this is fun for now. I think Blake Corum's gonna be a second rounder.
People are gonna fall in love with the productivity. He was a leader on a team that was in the college football playoff 2 years in a row and won a national championship. He's one of the best players on that team. He elevated what JJ McCarthy into what people are calling potential first round pick. That run game, that offensive line, that was the reason they were so good.
That guy better become a player if you're passing over a Georgia corner. I mean, you're rolling the dice.
I hate that they hate Byron Murphy II. To get a B+. Do you guys tell me you don't know ball PFF? No, I'm kidding.
They had the second best line of scrimmage play outside of Michigan, but that's a solid one. I think we didn't choose violence today. I would like to choose violence next week.